Hey, what's going on? Uh, Today we're going to look at something different, a little unusual. This is the MPC Animal Trap game from the mid to late 50s. There's no date on this box or on the board or anything anywhere, and I could find nothing on this on the internet. Um, so, judging by a few things that we're going to get to, I placed this between 1955 and 1961. So MPC, which side is it on? Let's look over. Oh, the other side. MPC, or Multiple Products Corporation, came into being after World War II, and they were making plastic figures by the mid 50s. Uh, they made ring hand natives and Indians, um, and they made a big game hunter. They also produced animals, pirates, farmers, Revolutionary War, Civil War, lots of World War II figures. Most of the stuff was sold on header cards or blister cards, blister cards, but they also did make play sets in an attempt to compete with marks. Now, this isn't a play set, but it's a board game. And the pieces of the board game are MPC figures. And some of the figures in the game are those ring hand natives and that ring hand big game hunter that we mentioned earlier. Now, the board is amazing. Let's flip it over. So here's the spinner. We looked at the directions for a second back there. I mean, if you're really interested, I guess you could pause and read them. I did try to play this game, and what was there? No, there's no date or anything on here. And I mean, this thing it's like new. So it looks like it was barely played with. In my opinion, everything in here is original. Um, Purchased it for a song. Like, I don't usually like to talk about prices, but I paid $14 for this, um, which I thought was pretty good deal, in my opinion. I like toys. So let's look at the. So here's the board game, which we looked at. We're looking at just for a second. Like I said, no dates or anything on here. Um, I have to get up and move around a bit. So let's for now let's fold the board game up and move it maybe under here, and let's bring these guys a little bit closer so you can look at the packaging and how they had these figures in here, and then I guess we'll set them up. So there's string underneath here, which was the original method of holding these figures in place. These accessories that are on these figures are not original. I put these accessories on here when I first got this game together and pulled all these pieces out and set it up. These are MPC reproduction accessories from a Western set, but they work perfectly and they fit perfectly. And I believe that it's an excellent example showing how the ring hands worked. So here's the first one of these native figures. On the bottom, you're going to see that there's that original MPC mark. Like I said, it's like it was barely played with. So you can see some of the string underneath there of how these were held in place. So it says a sea lion, but it's a walrus. That's not a sea lion. set these guys, the animals down here. Here's the alligator. There we go, that's better. It's an interesting sculpt. Now, some of these animals I was familiar with, having played with, copies of them, other animals in the late 60s or early 70s when I was a kid. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw this buffalo before, or bison. But I've never seen this camel before. And I have never seen this monkey, which, in my opinion, is supposed to sit on this camel. I mean, how cool is that? Oops. Scheiße. There we go. Sorry about that. Jeez, that was loud. Sorry. All right, so moving right along. Grizzly bear. I never saw this guy ever before either. He stands. And here's this tiger, which I'm familiar with. I used to have this exact same tiger when I was a kid, but he was in red. This same red as this bear up here. And this rhinoceros also had one of these as a kid. This is a polar bear, and they chose to mold him in black. Go figure. And it says polar bear. This is called a reindeer. Never saw this figure before. Just interesting animal choices, huh? So now here's where in my opinion, this was a packaging error. So we are short a baby elephant. And instead of a baby elephant, we have two bison. It would seem strange to me that the baby elephant would have been lost and that somebody would have taken the effort to replace it with a bison, with there being no inclusion of any other figures from the outside of the game. I mean, I'm guessing, but it seems likely to me that it was a mistake and the baby elephant wasn't even in here to begin with. All right, so here's another ring hand native. Come on, buddy. There we go. This guy is just silver. In silver. So many different colored plastics in this set. It makes it really interesting and really fun. And this is just kind of a bizarre, unusual find. Like I said, I mean, it seemed to me like a very low price for something that looked very old and the graphics looked sharp. And so I just snatched it up, not really knowing what it was. And so it was one of those fortunate things. All right, so here's the hunter. This is the big game hunter figure that I mentioned earlier. That's a gun that I just put on there. So I don't know for sure. I can only assume, that it's possible that these figures, when they came, brand new in this box, that says MPC. When they came brand new in this box, that they came with the accessories, the little clip-on treat accessories. But it's also very possible they had no accessories at all, and this was the entire set. But these accessories, for example, look very good in this ring hand right here. All right. So let me put these guys back in here real quick. And maybe set them to the side a bit. And let's pull the game back out, or the game board back out, excuse me, so we can look a bit at the graphics and how sharp they are and everything. So, this game, I tried to play it by the rules, and as like a couple kids or 2-3 kids would play it, taking turns and such, and it really gets clogged up with animals and figures. I mean, they're all over the place, and it's confusing. And I could see, I mean, it has the potential of being like a really fun game, but I can see where kids, if I was a kid playing this game, I would have modified the rules and I would do things a little bit differently. Um, but seeing a game like this with figures as the game pieces, now I don't remember seeing that before. So, in my opinion, or I'm guessing, this is late 50s. Marx is doing well with playsets, and MPC is throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And somebody comes up with an idea. Instead of a playset, let's use the figures in a board game. The board game's confusing, but fun. But we got amazing graphics. You know, we'll do some cool drawings, which they really do. The idea of the game, I think, it's so strange to me that, so one kid is a big game hunter, the other kids are natives, and they're competing to trap animals, and that's where, to me, it seems like I don't know. I'm not sure how I would have, I would have changed the rules around when I was a kid, because it's been a couple months since I played the game, since I followed the directions and everything. But I think this is cool and unusual and strange, and it's part of a genre. All right, so I pulled this comic book out here. We'll end the video with this comic book. So this is from 1957, 58, I forget. It's Dell 4-color Lowell Thomas High Adventure. So yeah, so you're a kid in 1957, and big game hunting and safari is a genre. And this guy, this must be Lowell Thomas. So yeah. So in closing, geez, let me get this together here at the end. Here's the spinner, no dice. The spinner is a gun. Even though the object of the game is to trap animals. So yeah. MPC animal trap game. 12 realistic animals, 3 native figures with 100 in unbreakable plastic. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and let's see if I can spin this thing. Jeez. Anyway, have a great day. Bye-bye.